Hello, and welcome to another Driven Catalyst live stream. It's Friday, and we haven't talked since Tuesday. I was working from home, so I haven't live streamed, but that just means we have more to talk about. I don't know if that's actually accurate, but I guess I can tell you about at least today. This morning, I had a tag up with one of our marketing teams. This is the group specifically working on Hack Arcade and some of the influencer marketing outreach for that. And we had our first Twitch stream this week. We had an influencer streaming and playing Hack Arcade. It seems like it went really well, was the main takeaway. The streamer speaks Portuguese, I believe. So chat was I had to translate chat to fully grasp what was going on. But high engagement. Streamers who play gamers and streamers have high engagement levels, really devoted communities. And that was really cool and fun to see. It's a little bit what we talked about in the morning tag up, that specifically with Hack Arcade, it's what I like to call the Sonic drink menu of games. There's so many different variables, and you can customize the gameplay so much based on your chips and what wires you connect. So getting to see kind of this engaged audience and a streamer work together, and people in chat saying, oh, connect these wires, and oh, try this out, blah 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 blah, that felt like the exact right fit for this game in particular. We have certainly run into our fair share of influencers and content creators as we've reached out, being kind of like, oh, I don't really get the game, I don't really love the vibe, just didn't get it. And so it's really fun and reassuring to see it in practice, see the people, the girls that get it, right? Like, it's fun to see the girls that get it. And that's with everything. That's how things go. So it's exciting to be kind of hitting our stride with it, at least with the user-generated content outreach side of things. In terms of coming up with different content ideas for live streaming, I thought maybe it would be fun if I learned how to code. How do we feel? Women in STEAM. What is STEAM these days? Because I know it's STEAM, not STEM now, but that's a little interesting and funny to me, because I think STEAM means that like art got rolled into it. So then it's like, what isn't STEAM? Should we Google it? Let's Google it. I don't usually look things up while I have the microphone in my hand, but who are we kidding? I feel like I can type better with one hand than two. I'm Gen Z. STEAM. What does STEAM stand for? Because I know it's science, technology. I think, is it engineering, arts, and math? Yeah, okay, here we go. NASA.gov. Science, technology, engineering, art, and math. It's a concept that embodies the next generation science standards, as well as the general goals and direction of the United States education world now. One large umbrella concept for all education going forward is that science is not compartmentalized in the real world as it is/was in a traditional K through 12 school system. That makes sense. It makes sense. It always makes me laugh, though, because it's like, well, because I think art is its own thing. But then when you think about all that you have to be able to basically do all of those things to be a competent scientist or mathematician, is what I assume they're getting at. Because, like, geometry, you have to be able to sketch, basically. I don't know. That's not what this is about. We're going to drop it. But yeah, that being said, well, I guess that is that is what this is about. I am not a science and math girly. I mean, I loved them in school, but like as there we go. I'm trying to figure out which side to talk into with my directional mic. As obviously I pursued higher level education, got my degree. I took one science class. Is that right? Yeah. Like one science class, one math class was what was required core for me. That I hadn't already, I guess, tested out of and everything, or done dual credit, whatever, yada, yada. So I don't ever consider myself a STEM girly in the way that, well, at all. Okay. So, but I'm what my mom speaks to me very impassioned. She got her degree in electrical engineering. And so she's always telling me, like, you have that side of your brain, like you have the math and science side of your brain and you love to use it. And you're a very whole-brained person. She was telling me earlier this week, not to brag, but, she thinks I would love it. She thinks I would love to learn how to code. And it does fit into the wheelhouse of some of the things I'm doing in terms of like web design and then some of the UX stuff. So, and frankly, not just for the brownie points, I think I actually would like to learn how to code. So maybe I'll learn how to code on stream. Should I? What do we think? So that's a content idea. Another idea that is kind of just like the watered down version of that is there are plugins that help you convert your UX designs that you make in Adobe XD is what I use, to convert them to like whatever it is, HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. And so I think it'd be fun to like pick a language and try and learn it. We had that fun little day where I did my Duolingo on live stream, but what if we did the I almost said hardware, the programming language version of that. I don't know. What else can we, so apart from work productivity stuff, if we're just chit-chatting about the week, Severance season finale was yesterday. So click away right now if you haven't watched it yet. I actually refuse to spoil anything for anyone ever, especially Severance related, because it is so profound and heartfelt to me. I just can't even fathom it. But odds are, if you're watching this, you're on your last line of content. So if you're watching this and you haven't yet watched Severance, I don't believe it. Let's dive into Severance. Hour and 15-minute episode, yes, I think. Let's double check that since we're already just one-handed typing. Severance finale length. Not that it really matters, but it matters to me. It was real to me. Like, what is that? Like Black Widow. It's Florence Pugh's character in the Marvel movie. It was real to me. An hour and 20 minutes. Yeah. So I was pretty much right there with an hour 15. I'm actually not going to dive into analysis much. I actually think I'm just going to gush about it. Literally loved the marching band. I've been watching the after credits scenes all season 2. And I just like was obsessed with them talking about being in the writer's room, trying to come up with like some sort of zany, like what's it going to be? What's the diversion going to be? And marching band just immediately hitting and resonating. I feel like was just perfect. Loved that so much. Loved, and I've seen posts about this online, how Dylan like jumped in to help them push. I like think I screamed watching that part where Dylan helps push the vending machine in front of the door to trap Milkshake. I always want to go say, it's a toss up every single time I say his name of whether or not I'm going to say Milkshake or Milchick. Which, by the way, Trammell, oh my gosh, I just couldn't be more obsessed with the cast of any show ever. I love them all so, so much. There were just so many moments in this episode and this season, really, where I was like, oh my gosh, get Trammell his Emmy. Insane. All of them. Get all of them their Emmys. And then, like, I don't know, like something even more heartfelt than an Emmy. Something more profound and heartfelt. And I don't know. Just, I love the show so much. Oh my gosh. The camcorder Mark. Okay, for real. If you're still watching this and you haven't watched the season finale of Severance, literally click away. Click away. Season 2, season finale. Get out. Okay. Mark's Innie and Outie talking to each other at the Demona birthing retreat with the camcorder. Insane. I hadn't even thought about that. Like, I really hadn't. Obviously, it's like with a show like Severance, you think about the, oh, wouldn't it be nice, right? Like, it occurs to you, obviously, like, oh, wouldn't it be nice? The level of complexity that's going on, the separateness of the lives, and the intricacies of the plans. It's like, of course, like, wouldn't it be nice? Seeing it happen. Oh, man. Again, it's like, get Adam Scott his Emmy. Get him 9 of them. Insane. Also, that being said, I really could shout them all out name by name and say, get them their Emmy. So anyone that I'm not saying, just know, like, I believe they need an Emmy and an Oscar. Like, let's just grandfather them in. Let's just give them all the awards. I'm obsessed. And I think the world would agree with me, actually. I think we're all on the same page with Severance. I think we all, I don't know, sometimes I see some harebrained things online. I think it's actually so funny. I see a lot of people clowning on the Severance fans that are like, I think Lumen's up to something. Like, people watching with no critical thinking skills. Love y'all. Love that y'all are tuning in every week. Don't understand y'all at all. But hi, girlies. Hi, friends. Not girlies. What else? What are the other highlights of the episode? The sequence of Mark going into Cold Harbor room. And first of all, the reveal of what the room was for Gemma. Oh my gosh. My heart just ripped out of my chest. Insane. Mark coming in covered in blood and Gemma trusting him. Like, just the softness of that moment. And Gemma trusting him, and then realizing as he's coaxing her over not coaxing her, but like kind of encouraging her over the threshold of the Cold Harbor door, and like realizing we are seconds away from her, what is it, severing, going over a severance barrier and seeing him and their Mark and Gemma as Outies again instead of Miss Casey and Mark S. Like, oh my gosh, that moment, the weight of it, and then it happening finally and getting to see that was so emotional and beautiful. Drummond accidentally dying on the elevator. I loved that because I wanted Drummond dead bad. We're talking about Severance, a TV character. I feel compelled to remind that because the internet is a scary place, and I don't wish death on anyone outside of a television show that we are discussing currently at this moment. So, because like Mark, he needed to die. No, not Mark. Drummond needed to die. And Mark just didn't have that in him, I feel like. Mark is a lovely, well, yeah, he's merciful. We were seeing him get thrown around in the hallway, and he was merciful still at his core. But I needed Drummond out of the equation. And so that being sort of an accidental bump in the elevator felt just like a great choice, and I was very grateful for it. going through the stages too then of Mark and Gemma, or Mark and one of Gemma's innies that wasn't Miss Casey, and then Mark S and Miss Casey, and then Gemma and Mark S. That was insane. The thing that makes me feel sick to my stomach, like actually I feel ill saying this, is Gemma, as she crosses through the severance barrier and is outside in the hallway stairwell and is looking back trying to convince Mark, like why is she having to convince Mark to come with her, basically, is probably like her thought process. Because I don't know, in theory, Gemma doesn't know he's severed. Obviously there's like implications, and if she knows what the severed floor is as Gemma, we don't know if she knows what the severed floor is as Gemma. In theory she did as Miss Casey, but we don't know how compartmentalized all of that is. So the idea that Gemma may not know what the hell is going on, and that last moment happened, and Gemma may not know that, like, oh, this is his innie. This is not the Mark you know and love. Like, this is a different Mark. And this Mark held you and his Audi in high enough regard, at least to save Miss Casey. But this was a choice of independence and him fighting for a life of his own. It was totally not about you as Gemma, or the lack of soul crushing love and grief that he experienced for her. Like, the idea that Gemma doesn't know that Mark is severed is really, really, really messing with me. So I guess those are my main takeaways. What else? I guess we're just debriefing the media I consumed this week, which I think is always a great topic of discussion on these live streams. Hold on, my crisscross chair is sufficiently sunk, and so I'm gonna have to look. I just grew 5 inches. I saw Novocaine this week, which I went in blind, knowing absolutely nothing. Had not read a plot summary, absolutely nothing. Lead guy, darling, didn't realize he's the son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. Nepo baby of the century. So cutesy. Great cutesy little role. So sorry. Don't know all the names of the actors, but the guy from Spider-Man who is Tom Holland's Spider-Man's best friend. I'm sorry, I don't know his actor's name. I absolutely love him. Every interview I see him in, though, I eat it up. I think he's like just such a sweetie. I love his roles. I think he's hilarious. Was so excited that he was in this movie. Again, playing a similar like man in the chair role. So that was so fun. Crazy plot. Didn't realize at all how much gore was going to be in it. But I don't know. Okay, I go back and forth, and I don't know if this is the technical term for the genre, but like gore humor, or like a comedy that has gore in it. Slapstick gore is probably the best way to say it. Is almost, this was like really witty, clever slapstick gore. So there were a lot of times where I was like watching through my hands, but it was like such clever gore. It seems funny and out of place to say, but it really was clever, that I really found myself enjoying it. Even though that's like just totally out of the wheelhouse genre-wise for me necessarily. I saw Bullet Train in theaters, and I was deeply disturbed by it, which is so funny and dumb. I have friends that love Bullet Train. I'll tell you why it was really off-putting for me. It was off-putting for me because it was comedy gore, and I was seeing it in a theater, and I was just really off-put and disturbed being in a room full of grown adults laughing at violence. That really put me off. Now, I understand it's not that deep. Maybe. I understand that this is very Stranger Things 1980s video game satanic panic of me, low-key, to be like, I just think it's a little off-putting. We're all grown adults sitting in a theater laughing at violence. Like, that's obviously a crazy way to boil something down. But that is how I genuinely felt. And so when it's I think good, healthy. Because generally I'm very much on the other side of that fence. So I think it was a good experience for me to be off put by that, because I feel like it brought me closer to being able to understand other people's holdups with things like that. And I feel like I can empathize with them a little bit more, but I think still ultimately disagree, because I think it's good to, anywho, we're not going to get into that debate. But that's why I didn't love Bullet Train. Something about there being humor and violence so closely interlinked was disturbing to me. I think what was so different about this was that while it was most of the violence was self-defense, we were rooting for this guy who in theory had very altruistic motives, and his use of violence was clever. So weird to say, but yeah, I really found myself enjoying the film. If you are looking for a movie, go see it. It is Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid's son. Novocaine, baby. Highly recommend. And then last weekend I've had a big movie in theaters week. What was it? Like Black Widow? It was Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender. Cate Blanchett had long brown hair. And let me tell you, Cate Blanchett has never not been beautiful a day in her life, I think. She's just absolutely gorgeous. Her brunette hair, I had never seen her with long brunette hair, and it was absolutely stunning. Black Bag, it was called. It was like a detective spy, like a spy movie. Fine. It was a fine movie. I had a lot of qualms with the lighting in the film. So many. So I was so proud of my dad because we were seeing it, and at one point he goes, the lighting was bad. And I was, because like I noticed it, and I don't by any means do I think I'm like an authority on the matter, but I did go to school for it, so I know things, you know what I mean? But it really is a good litmus test if it's standing out to someone who is supposed to be taken, like you're not supposed to be taken out of it by production elements. And so someone who has, I guess, been tuned to notice production elements, I guess, like I was tuned to notice production elements in school, and so hearing my dad notice it was interesting, and I felt very proud of him. But all the lighting was really blown out, and it was obviously a stylistic choice. It didn't work for me. As someone who wears glasses, I found myself cleaning my glasses the whole movie because I was like, this can't be right. All the lights were blooming. And there was one moment where they're talking back and forth outside. It's if you've seen the movie, it's Michael Fassbender and then one of the other guy spies. And they're talking, and it's not when they're fishing, but it's before they go fishing, and they're at the car. And you can see almost like it's autofocused, and like the camera is fighting to, like, it's racking focus wrong. And it's in the movie. I was like, are my eyes focusing and unfocusing? A lot of the movie was me making sure that like I'm not losing my mind and that my glasses were clean. The plot of it was good, though. There were a lot of clever moments again. Cate Blanchett, absolutely stunning, brilliant, talented. Hate to mention stunning first. it's just the first that came to mind. She is so much more. She contains multitudes. Michael Fassbender, I love him. I'm a big Michael Fassbender fan, so he was great too. Rest of the cast was good too. Honestly, I liked him. It was a good movie. Couple production elements threw me off. So that was Black Bag and then Novocaine. If you want to laugh, go see Novocaine. If you want to test your eyesight, go see Black Bag. If you want to have a fun time this weekend with friends, play Hack Arcade. And that's the final marketing plug I'm going to leave you with as I sign off on this fun Friday. We have live streamed a little bit longer than I planned on, but I hope it has been enjoyable. And if you are one of the rare birds that seems to have found yourself watching this live stream prior to watching Severance, actually close out of this tab right now and go watch Severance. And also, shame on you. I told you to click away a long time ago. You were not supposed to watch my spoilers prior to watching the show. So go watch Severance, Apple TV. I know it's a really hard subscription sell. If you don't have Apple TV already, it sucks to tell someone that one of the best shows of all time is on Apple TV. I actually don't know what the subscription rates are running at this point. This is one of those subscriptions that I'm using my family's. So brilliant though. They did have like a weekend of free streaming where everyone could stream free. That weekend is past though, so you are going to have to get a subscription or borrow someone's, because I don't think they've cracked down yet on household stuff. So go watch Severance. And forget I said anything. I did not encourage anyone to share subscriptions. I don't know what the fine print is about that. Just figure out how to watch the show. You're welcome. I'm giving you free promo, Apple. From the 3 people, and one of them probably being my mom. Happy birthday, by the way, Mom. Watching my live stream. Oh my God, but like if you're in the future and you're watching this, hey, I still like love that that's just a possibility that, you know, our digital footprints, like I'm talking off the cuff right now and it's going to be online forever. Love that. It actually makes me very anxious. Let's say lovey. All right. Have a great weekend. Thank you for tuning in if you did, and goodbye.